see behind me, folks, that is officially Bronsonville, USA. And I'm back home after my trip abroad. And there's lots to tell, lots to report on, under the radar. But this is a special edition because just this last week I have had the pleasure and the honour of performing some Robert Burns stuff for the St. Andrew's Society of New York State. And I wanted to rush this one out so that the people in the society can see it. And well, it's not a bad wee performance. This is myself as an acoustic mind, but this time I'm performing Robert Burns, and it's the classic poem, the ghost story by Robert Burns called Tam O Shanter. So here it is for you. Enjoy this special edition of Under the Radar. I'm Mike Ogletree. See you later.
When Chapman Billies leave the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, when market days are drawing late, and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit boozing and happy, getting food and encore happy, we think now on the long Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hay, while sits our sulky, solemn day. Gathering our brows like gathering storm, nursing our wrath to keep it warm. This truth found honest Tam O Shanter, as he free air ae night did canter. All the air, wham ne'er a town surpasses, for honest men and bonny lasses. Ah, Tam, hadst thou but been sae wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice, she taught thee weel, thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, blubbering blellum, that frae November till October, yea market day, thou wasna sober. The ilka melder wi' the miller, thou sat as lang as thou had siller. That every naig was cawed a shoe on, the smith and thee got roaring foo on. That the Lord's house, even on Sunday, thou drank wi' Kirkton Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in doon, or catched wi' warthogs in the muck by Allardyce's old haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gals me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many lengthened, sage advices the husband for the wife despises. But to our tale, ae market night, Tam had got planted, encore right, fast by an ingle, blazing finely, with Raymond Swartz that drank divinely, and at his elbow, Suitor Johnny, his ancient, trusty, drouthy crony. Tam loved him like a vera brother. They had been fou for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with favours, secrets, precious. The suitor told his queerest stories. The landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rear and rustle. Tam didn't mind the storm a whistle. Care, mad to see a man sae happy, he drowned himself among the nappy. As bees flee hame with lades of treasure, the minutes winged with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious. O'er all the ills of life, victorious. But pleasures are like poppy spread. He sees the flower, its bloom is shed, or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis rays that flit ere you can point their place, or like the rainbow's lovely form, vanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time or tide. The hour approaches, Tam maun ride. That hour o' night's black arch, the keystone, that dreary hour, he mounts his beast in, and sick a night he tacks the road in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as 'twas blown its last, the rattling showers rose in the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud, deep, and long the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand. The dew had business on his hand. wheel mounted on his grey-mared Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skelpit on through dug and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whiles holding fast his good blue bonnet, whiles crooning awesome old Scots sonnet, whiles glowering run with prudent cares lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, their ghaists and hoolits nightly cry. But this time he was cross the ford, or in the snaw the chapman smored, and past the birks and meikle stane, where drunken Charlie brak his neck bane, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters fun the murdoch bairn, and near the thorn aboon the well, where Mungo's mother hanged herself. Before him, down pours all his floods. The doubling storm roars through the woods. The lightnings flash from pole to pole. Near and more near the thunders roll, when, glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a blaze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou canst make us scorn? We tippany, we fear nae evil. We uske be, oh face the devil! The swats sae ringed in Tammy's noddle. Fair play, he cared na deal for a boddle. But Maggie stood, right sair astonished, till, by the heel of hand admonished, she ventured forward in the light. Well, Tam saw an unco sight, warlocks and witches in a dance. They could till yon brent new frae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys and reels put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast, a towsy tyke, black, grim and large, to gie them music was his charge. He screwed the pipes in garden skill, till roof and rafters, did drill. Coffins stood round, like open presses, that showed the dead in their last dresses, and, by some devilish cantrip sleight, each in its cold hand, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderer's banes and gibbet ears, twa span lang weir and crescent bairns, a thief new cut it frae a rape, wi' his last gasp his garb did gape, 5 tomahawks wi' blood red rusted, 5 scimitars wi' murder crusted, a garter which a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son a life bereft, the grey hairs he had stacked. 3 lawyers' tongues turned inside out, wi' lies seamed like a beggar's cloak. 3 breaths' hearts, rotten, black as muck, lay stinking vile in every nook. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleekit, till ilka carlin swat and reek it, and cushed her dunnies to the wark, and linkit at it in her sark. Now Tam, oh Tam, had they been queens, all plump and strapping in their teens, their sarks, instead of creasy flannin, been snaw white 1700 linen. Their breeks o' mine, my only pair, the ace for plush, a good blue hair, I would ha' gi'en them off my hurdies, for ae blink o' they bonny birdies. But with their beldams, old and droll, like woody hags, would spin a foal, louping and flinging on a crummock. I wonder did they turn thy stomach? But Tam kenned what was what through brawl. There was ye winsome wench and Wally that night enlisted in the corps, lang after Kent on Carrick shore. For money a beast to dead she showed, and perish money a bonny boar, and shook baith meikle corn and beer, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark with paisley hand, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitude, though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunted. Ah, little kent thy reverend granny, that sark she coughed for her wee nanny, with twa pun Scots, 'twas all her riches, would ever graced a dance of witches. But here ma muse her wing maun cour, 6 flights are far beyond her poor, to sing how Nanny, lap and flang, a supple jeg she was, and strang, and how Tam stood like ane bewitched, and talked his very een enriched, e'en Satan clever, and fidget full fain, and hotched and blew with mitt and main, till first ye keep a sign another, and Tam tint his reason all together and knows out, well done, gutty sark! And in an instant all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied, as bees buzz out with angry fyke, when plundering herds assail their bike, as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud. So Maggie runs, the witches follow, with many an eldritch screech and hollow. Ah Tam, thou'll get thy faring, and hell they'll roast thee like a herring. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming, Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the key stain of the brig. There at them thou thy tail may toss, a running stream they dare na cross. But ere the key stain she could make, that fainter tale she had to show. For Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie breast, and flew at Tam with fury settle. But little wist she Maggie's mettle, yea spring brought off her master hail, but left behind a ain grey tail. The carlin clocked her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now, for this tale of truth shall read, ilk man and mother's son take heed, whene'er to drink ye are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind. Think ye may buy the joys o'er dear. Remember Tam O Shanter's mare. And with that,
Michael, thank you.
my
very
pleasure.
much. Michael, thank you very much. And behalf of everyone, let me thank you. That was we've talked about the return to tradition, and if there's any better way to kick off a return to tradition, this is it. So thank you very much, Michael. And I'll tell you one other comment, the most common comment I've heard, where people were saying, where has he been? So, Michael, we don't know where you've been, but we found you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that.